What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Yeah, we're a little early today. I'm gonna be over on It's Me D's channel a little bit later on. He's celebrating his birthday, so we're gonna go live over there at 8 o'clock. And you know how sometimes we get to running a little late over here. We get to running our miles, and so I just wanted to make sure that I got my live in, early enough, and I didn't want to feel rushed. So, how's everybody doing? Y'all, you ready? All right, I'm bringing you up. Well, hello, sir. How are
you? Hello. Before we get started, can I use your platform for a quick second?
Sure. What's good?
So, y'all know Mother's Day is right around the corner, and I had to get some Avon from a friend here. So this is all of what I got for. So there was this thing where if you buy from a certain area, you can get the tote for $20.
Yes,
so
you know the tote up. I knew it was an Avon. I knew it was the Avon tote.
So I got her some Skin So Soft. In addition to that, I got her the mini spray one too.
Okay, that spray comes in handy
when she travels. I got her some nice little bath time.
Bubble bath, yes.
Some bath time treats. There was another little thing y'all had, I guess, with the makeup or whatever. So I got
like this. A little
and then this little piece right here, which is how I got the tote.
So, well, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for your support. It is always appreciated. I thank you so much. Yes, that is his Mother's Day gift. She got Mama done racked up over there. Mama got a nice little. Mama got some good stuff going on over there. But thank you so much for your support, and thank you for the commercial.
Just a small little promo. Just a little
promo. Yes, you can still get the free tote, honey. You can get the free tote.
Well, the tote wasn't free, but
no, it wasn't free.
$20,
but it wasn't free. But you're right. It wasn't free. My bad. I won't put that out there. Somebody be emailing me, where's the free? I don't see nothing free.
Now, the only thing I'll say is because it took me a minute to get it, because I thought once I added the item that it will pop up. But if you guys are trying to get it, and I don't know if the Mother's Day thing is still going, but you actually, when you purchase one of the items that equal the total, you have to go back in and actually find the tote and add it to your cart, and then it'll show up as $20.
Thank you for that info. Well,
so I mean,
that was a nice way to start off. Okay, all right.
So get y'all some Avon. Stop playing around now.
That's right. Go on. Thank you so much. Yes, stop playing around, honey. Y'all better go on and get it.
So I hope my mother enjoys this gift.
I hope so too. I definitely, y'all. You let me know how she, what she likes and what she doesn't like, honey. You let me know.
Look, she gonna let me know. So
right, okay. You let me know. Hey, little baby, what's up? So, hey, everybody. Hey, Cams, Brianna, Xavier, Danny, Alikala, Brandon. Listen, Brandon left me a comment good and early this morning, honey, on my Real Housewives of Atlanta, child. Hey, Yana, Below, Quintessential. Hey, everybody. Hey, birthday boy is in the house. Hey to the birthday boy. Yes, the birthday boy is in the house. So, yeah. So it's really not a lot going on. So that's why the majority of this is going to be sort of like a TV talk. But a little bit, y'all keep your head on the swivel. The jury is out. I don't need to tell you what jury. I don't need to tell you what swivel. The jury is out. Keep your head on the swivel. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, Mimi, what's up, boo? I don't know what the hell has gone on in the last 2 weeks in this country that people have lost their ever-loving mind.
Lost it? When they ever have it?
I mean, that's true. But people, all this violence, and I have to be careful how I say this because there's certain words that I don't necessarily want to say because y'all already know how YouTube be playing games, but I don't know, and I don't have the answer. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I have the answer, but yeah, what's up, y'all?
I just want to say two things. And the first part, I'm going to really tap around it because I don't want to get this thing monetized.
Yeah.
But just understand that April is the time of year where a certain group of people tend to do some very nefarious things. So if you go back in history and do your research, you will see that a lot of these crazy things tend to happen in April. And I forget the day, but there is literally a day, I think, in the upcoming week where it's a nefarious act on women and children. I'll tell it to you off camera, but because somebody posted, I'm like, what is going on this day? And then I look deep. I'm just like, are you serious? So literally people preying, and y'all read between the lines, on women and children on this particular day. So yeah, a lot of crazy stuff, and we're not through with April yet. So just a heads up to all my melanated folk, just be careful for the remainder of April.
Okay. Definitely. Hey, Diamond, what's up? That's my DMV sister. What's up, Diamond? So yeah, keep your head on a swivel, people. I've seen where they have most police forces in major cities are on 100%. They are not approving any leave. If it has not already been approved, you can't. It's that emergency status where you can't call out, you can't go out on leave. I told you guys yesterday that schools in Minneapolis are going to be virtual. They're not going to be schools will not be physically in session this week, in anticipation of what may or may not go down. And let's be clear. This is either way the jury comes down. Let's not forget January 6th. Let's not forget that, there's a whole contingency in this country that is not allowing their voices to, quote unquote, be silenced. And I'm saying that facetiously. But either way that this jury comes back, there's an anticipation that it will not be received well. So this is not just, they already know it's going to come back not guilty. No, even if it comes back guilty, there is I'm not going to say an expectation, but there's certainly a thought that it could go left. So, especially if you live in a major city, just keep your head on a swivel. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know. If you work in a downtown area, you might want to, stay home if you can tomorrow. I don't know. And I don't think we can be overly cautious. And I'm not trying to put an alarm out or a sound. What's the word I'm looking for?
Paranoid?
Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm being paranoid or anything, but it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. So yeah, let's just and let's, whatever God you pray to, let's just say a prayer. All right. Yeah, Cams, I definitely feel like we could be seeing some things this week. To what extent, I don't know. But I definitely feel like we could be seeing some things this week. I don't anticipate the jury is going to be out long. I don't. I really don't. The only way the jury would be out long is if it eventually ends up being in a hung jury. I think most people kind of already know how they feel about the situation, whether it's good or bad. I think most people already kind of have it. So if it comes back if it takes more than a couple of days, then we know that they're having some problems. That's all I'm going to say. And then it'll be interesting to see what happens from there. But I would feel like anywhere between the next 24 to 48 hours, we'll probably have a verdict if it takes that long. But I mean, I'm no legal scholar. I'm certainly not in that jury room. So who knows? All it takes is one. Remember, either way, all it takes is one, y'all. So anyway, moving on. So your boy, y'all. I don't know if he's your boy or not, but he's your boy today. Your boy Diddy. Your boy Diddy. See how I gave him to you? See how I gave him to you?
No.
Your boy Diddy said he missed it and he's back and he has launched a new record label called Love Records. He has already signed his first. sorry.
But go ahead with the story. Go ahead.
Okay, Xavier. See, y'all take an itch and go a mile. Diddy didn't kill nobody. Now, did Diddy steal from his artist? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But Diddy did not kill nobody.
You know, I'm gonna just say this before I let you go. To anybody that is thinking about, in general, signing any contract, go the extra mile, hire you a entertainment lawyer, have them look over their contract. Thank me later. Because where we get messed up at is we think because they're skin folk, they kin folk, and they gonna take care of us. They're about their bottom dollar. Damn near the only person that I believe it was Quincy Jones that had Will Smith linked up with a lawyer before he signed him to do the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and some other stuff. One of the few good ones, but the rest of them ain't finna tell you nothing, and they gonna have you hooked on a hope and a dream, and you gonna be fighting for your royalties, your publishings, and get to a point where most artists are, where you're not making money off your project. You're making money because you're touring, because all that money is going to the record label. And unfortunately, since we've had Black Rob recently die and how his streams are about to go up like DMX just did, just know DMX family is not going to see any of that money from the royalties. It's going to be the dominant company. Black Rob's family is not going to see money from their royalty. It's going to be Diddy punk ass. So that's all I got. Go ahead, Really B. What you got?
And in DMX's case, it is a Def Jam. So let me say this. Everything y'all just said, I ditto. I concur and I ditto. This is what I'm going to say about that. I have little to no sympathy at this point in time with artists who get scammed. I'm not talking about an artist that gets scammed in an anomaly type situation, like something that was so far left that they didn't see it coming. I'm talking about artists, thumbs up, let me know. I'm talking about artists who I'm talking about artists who you just didn't do your due diligence, like Socrates just said. You didn't do your due diligence. At this point in the game, there are so many people who came before you that have made the bad decisions for you that you have no reason to make that bad decision. And anybody who wants to go into music, you've got to understand that it's bigger than just being able to sing. It's just not okay. It is no longer, and I feel the same way about that as I feel about, I've said this before, people who used to go on American Idol and we want to get mad at Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell is being Simon Cowell. We want to get mad at Judge Judy. Judge Judy is being Judge Judy. If this was the first couple of seasons, okay, fine. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But we are now, 20 years in. You know what you're signing up for when you decide to go on this woman's show. Same thing with American Idol. Okay, the first 2 seasons, 2.5 maybe. But you know what you're signing up for. And I feel the same way at this point. I feel the same way about the music industry and people like, the Diddy's of the world. It is no longer, for me, it is no longer acceptable to be like, oh, well, they were just poor kids from the hood and they didn't know no better. Well, 1, they do know better. And 2, they should know better. Because the reality of the situation is they can look up everything else they want to look up. They can look up everything else they want to look up. You can Google anything else you want to Google. So Google, what you need to know walking into a meeting. And like you said, you shouldn't be signing nothing that you're not reading. Well,
I was going to say, even with some of the young men and women that come from underprivileged areas, some of them may be looking at it like this is my only break, because for some of them, if they do try to challenge it, they may get looked over. And Lil Baby said it best, and we didn't have unsung, behind the music, all this other stuff where artists have told you what their wrong mistakes were, and we still go with it. And I'll say this: I don't see it for Master P. Can't stand him. Despicable human being. Based off what he displayed on Growing Up Hip Hop LA, when he was talking about how taking advantage of Angela Simmons, knowing that her baby daddy just died, some ish like that. Though I don't see it for him, what I can say is he is one of the few people with a music label where he took care of people, and ain't nobody, from my understanding, came and said anything crazy about Master P's doings when it came to music. So
yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why, as much as I give Berry Gordy respect on what he did with Motown, I don't have a lot of respect for Berry Gordy because he exploited Black people. Like, for as much credit as we give him for what he did with Motown and with Detroit, is as much credit as we can take from him, because most of his artists walked away broke.
Yeah.
And the few artists that and if you tried to walk away from him before he was done with you, he blackballed you. You know, he made it impossible for you to make money outside of Motown. There are very few exceptions to the rule. One of the exceptions is Smokey Robinson. One of the exceptions is Stevie Wonder. One of the exceptions is Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye, even though he didn't do right by his money, he was able to finagle a lot of control, but he was married to his sister. You know, Smokey Robinson was really good friends with him. They used to write songs together in the trenches. Stevie Wonder is probably the best example of an artist who was able to get a good deal out of Berry Gordy. But for the most part, including Diana Ross, who was his whole side chick for 20 years, walked away, and I think she had less than $100,000 in her bank account when she left Motown. And so it's like, yeah, you did some great things musically, but when it came to how you treated your artists, it was still some bullshit. And so at the end of the day, somebody said Chance the Rapper. And exactly, Chance the Rapper went the independent route. Chance the Rapper went the independent route. I remember seeing an interview about a week or so ago with Method Man. And Method Man was talking about, where's all this money coming from? These artists that are coming out and they have so much money. And he was like talking about how hard it was when they were coming up. They had, they had these albums, they had these record deals, and they were touring and they were selling records, but they were still broke. Well, the reality is, because a lot of these artists are going through the independent route. They're putting out their own shit and they're making most of their own money. Chance the Rapper did that. He won a Grammy as an independent artist, which is really almost unheard. It's becoming more and more common now, but when he did it, it was almost unheard of. And so with streaming services and you just having so much control over your own destiny, more artists have just got to do that. Like, and record companies are hurting right now. You're going to get even less of a good deal at this point because they're hurting right now. So go ahead.
No, I was gonna say with the when it comes to the record companies, where a lot of people get messed up at is they don't sign with the head company, and that's where people get tripped up at, because you're signing to a subset of a subset of a subset. Right.
That's true.
So you're coming out with way less than you would if you signed with the record company. And I want to take a moment to give a shout out to the king of pop, because we ain't gonna disrespect him, Mr. Michael Jackson. Because what Michael did, I don't care how you feel about him, he did some smooth shit. Not only did he buy the Beatles catalog, which had so much of African-American music in it, he bought it, and rather than try to sell it back to him, he freely gave these African-American, both individuals and groups, their publishings and their rights to their own music. When I tell you that is one of the most boss moves that you can ever do, I tip my hat to that brother. Rest in power.
I'm definitely here for that. Diamond and Pearl, yeah, Ashford Simpson and Holland Dozier Holland, they were writers. I was talking about artists, but yeah, the writers were able to parlay, better deals. But the writers always made the money. Writers and producers always made the money. But I was talking about the actual artists. Xavier, you said streaming undercuts older artists. They literally get pennies for streaming, right? Because they don't own their shit. The record company don't get pennies for streaming. They get pennies for streaming because they don't own their shit. That's why they get pennies. You know what I'm saying?
If you only get 10 points off all the money.
Right.
So if it's 100 pennies to make $1 and you only get 10 pennies off of every dollar that you made.
I'll never forget, and I know that I have divorced my baby daddy / husband, Ice Cube. But I would never forget, Ice Cube came out with an album called War and Peace. He did it independently, and this was years ago. This was probably this probably had to be maybe 10 years ago, where he did War and Peace, and he produced it independently, right? He wasn't on Priority Records anymore, whatever. He was doing his own thing. At the same time, and this will tell you when it came out, because at the same time, Lean Back was out. Fat Joe's album, you know, the song Lean Back was out. So that lets you know this around the time that it came out. And I remember Ice Cube in an interview and somebody saying to him, well, you and Fat Joe's songs, you know, you both dropped them at the same time. And Fat Joe is, you know, he's like, you know, I'm just putting out a number for the purposes of the conversation. You know, he sold 500,000 copies of the song already, and your album is only sold, let's say, 10,000 copies or whatever. And Ice Cube broke it down. Ice Cube was like, yeah. He said, but Fat Joe was probably making $6 for every album he's selling. I'm making 100% of every album I'm selling. Right. So if I only sell 50,000 copies of my album, I'm still going to make more money than him selling 500,000 copies of his album. Right. I said, well.
Remy Ma said the same thing when she was cussing out Nicki Minaj on that record. She said, you signed to this one, to this one, to this one, which means 5 niggas touch your money before you even get to it. You signed a 360 deal, which means it don't matter what the fuck you do. If you go and be in a movie, they taking all your money from that. It doesn't matter what. It's a 360 deal. If you go and put some merch out, they take it. If you sign this Apple deal to be an Apple podcaster and have your own radio show, they taking a percentage of that. It doesn't matter. A 360 deal means 360. It doesn't matter what you do and where you do it at. You could be working at McDonald's and they come to get some of that too.
Okay. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, and again, that's the thing. It's like when, you know, we start talking about, again, do I have a whole lot of, I mean, I feel bad for the people that Diddy, you know, did wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think it's horrible. But what I'm saying is, fast forward into 2021, anybody who signs with Diddy and doesn't take into consideration, like you said, doesn't go to a lawyer, like because his reputation precedes him at this point. You know, if you thought he was down, if you thought he was a part of it, no, his reputation precedes him at this point.
I mean, in general, not even just Diddy. If you go to anybody, you need to pay however much you need to get you an entertainment lawyer. And here's the thing. I know a little bit of something. If the record company try to give you their lawyer, say no.
Oh, no.
Because they're looking out for the interest of their record company, not you.
Yeah, absolutely not. Like, what's up, distant lover? What's up, boo? Yeah, I mean, we definitely don't need that in our life. I don't need your lawyer. I don't need that in my life. No, ma'am.
Hey, let me know when we're about to switch topics. I just want to bring up one thing, but just let me know.
Well, we're about to in a second because we're almost done with this and there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. So go ahead. Say what you got to say.
I don't know how many of y'all are watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Abby's watching it, so y'all can go ahead and commiserate.
I have to commend them on this last episode, despite the fact that there's still a whole lot of plot holes that won't be resolved come Friday, because that's the last episode. I can appreciate how they handle the race situation when it comes to African Americans in America, because Disney typically don't touch that. But I can appreciate that they did it. And even if you guys watch Marvel, how they did the comparison of how Captain America went on a rogue mission, rescued all these people, and he was rewarded. I went and got my brethren, and they put my ass in jail and experimented on me. Like, I appreciate that. The only thing I didn't like is how they had Sam sort of kind of dismiss what old boy went through. Because he could at least did one of those, like, I understand what he's saying. I understand the time frame in which he went through it. But I think this is a different time, and I'm going to do what I got to do. Like, I wish I would have heard that, but it really came off like, I'm going to dismiss what you said, and I'm going to go with this. But, go ahead.
Because I felt like when he had the conversation with his sister, and he said, well, what was the point of him going through everything that he went through if I just give up the fight now? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I didn't feel like he dismissed it. I feel like he's saying, I'm not going to let what he went through be in vain. Since he won't allow me to make it right, I don't want what he went through to be in vain. So I'm ready for us to see what's in the box.
We know what's
Wakanda.
in the box. It's a vibranium Captain America suit with some damn wings on it. We know what the fuck is in that damn box. You made me drop my damn pen. We know what's in that damn box. Grab me another pen. Pop the damn thing. You have me drop my damn pen. You know what's in that box.
Wow.
Listen.
All right.
But no, I'm just saying, like, I just appreciate that. I appreciate that Disney went that route, and it had a conversation on the internet. Nice to see European Americans trying to talk about it, because for some, you can see what they really want to say, but they not gonna say it. But it is sparking conversation, and I really can appreciate that, where we're not doing this cookie cutter. And I also like the fact that we got this in a series rather than them trying to put this in a movie, because you can't tackle that particular moment in a movie, because you got to cut so much out to push it out in 2.5 hours. But that's all I got. I just want to bring that up.
Listen, when the man said they will never let a black man be Captain America, and no self-respecting black man would want to be.
I was like, I know. I was like,
so good. I said, well, what the fuck you gonna do now there? He said, no self-respecting black. Oh God. Okay, well, because there was no lie detected in anything that man said. So I was just like,
well, Virgin Love, I'm glad that you were saved from that possibly bad ending. But I hope that you were able to still get your art heard somewhere. She said she almost signed with Diddy in the 90s.
Girl, if you don't want the producers dancing all in your video, don't go to Death Row, because them niggas is thieves too. And I feel like they're gonna shoot you first.
Yeah, because ain't none of them walk away with no money either. Even Dr. Dre had to leave his masters. Okay, ain't none of them walk away with no money either. Okay. Xavier, I'm with you. When is Surviving Diddy coming out? I don't know.
Never. Because I feel like Diddy hide behind a smile, but he got a pistol like this. My hours is from 9 to 5. Okay.
Yeah, oh, definitely. We did talk about Queen Sugar already, Distant Lover, yeah, but if you want to drop a comment in the chat, I'll read it. I'll see what you're talking about. My dad is a legend in the music business, especially in the Bay Area, and he definitely says this all the time about the lack of pay from streaming. Oh yeah. Some will go through what Grandpa went through eventually. Oh, okay. Y'all talking about? I guess that's something else. Okay.
Wait. Really, B, if you haven't watched it, I implore you to watch.
Because it has the history stuff in it that you like.
Oh no, I forget the old man's name. He even went. They did a beautiful job of merging together comics, but in real life, even talking about the
Tuskegee Airmen, the red tails, and everything.
How just being pumped with stuff you don't know what it was, and like when I tell you they did a good job with that, I was like, oh.
He was like, they gave them that super serum and told him it was a tetanus shot, and then sent them out into the field. That's a lot. It's really good.
You were a video girl. Virgin Love said, girl, I was just a video girl, child. Me and my cousin were just looking good. Diddy was gonna put us in a girl group because we look good. I know that's right. She said we sang in the church choir. You said Drake got his masters back. Yeah, but he had to leave him. He might have got him back eventually, but when he left Death Row, he left the masters.
Okay, wait. So Steve Golden says we're giving all the deets on the show. So okay, I'm gonna stop talking about it. But if y'all haven't watched it,
go watch it.
But and one last thing I will say that I do appreciate between WandaVision and this is that we're tackling issues that we normally don't. Because with WandaVision, we're tackling grief.
Oh my God, that thing took me.
You know, and with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you know, it's so many different things that we're tackling on here. You know, identity, PTSD, and that with the military, like it's so much that they are tackling, and I'm appreciative of it. So if y'all, and here's the thing, I ain't getting paid by Disney, but if y'all ain't
Disney want to throw us a check,
please do.
Okay.
Please, I'll be the Black Captain America for your ass.
Now I haven't seen out one person. Listen, but I don't be on the Twitters like that because them niggas is crazy. But I haven't seen out one person mad that the Dora Milaje did the 5-finger point death grip on Bucky and his arm fell off.
Wait. People were mad because they said that the fight between them and Captain America went too long, and I think they were just torn because we know.
You mad because they got beat up by some black women.
Because the fact that they disabled Bucky that quick, they was trying to prove a point to him, just like, you got the shield, but we got skills. Calm down, bro.
Come on with it.
Okay. Well, all right.
Those some bad
right.
women.
Well,
some bad women right there.
Well, let's get into a little bit of TV talk. I'm not saying I'll never watch it. I don't have the bandwidth right now. I just don't. There's between. And not even so much the shows that I review, but when I say my DVR is literally full, like I got like 8% free on my DVR right now. Like it is literally full. And
this is on Disney Plus. You don't need a DVR for that.
No, but but my point is that's not my point. Because there's stuff on Netflix that I want to look at, there's stuff on Hulu. What I'm saying is there's so much stuff that I want to see for my own pleasure that I'm backed up on. So I'm not saying that I'll never watch it. I'm just saying that right now there are things in front of it. That's all I'm saying. I understand that it's on Disney Plus. My point was that my DVR is full of shit that I've been wanting to look at that's been sitting there waiting for me to have time. That's the point I'm making, ma'am. Oh my God. Anyway.
All right, so TV talk. What we got?
What we talking about on the TV?
So last night,
God.
we thankfully saw the end to this season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yes, we have. I'll be right back, but keep going.
It was the season finale. It was the Christmas episode. Two things went down. Now, I'm going to talk about the first thing, and then we can get to what everybody is probably going to want to talk about. Amazon has music business book on sale. Yeah, because somebody in the chat was saying Kashif wrote a book where he exposed a lot about what happened in the business and of the music industry, and he got blackballed. I'm gonna leave that there because Kashif. I'm gonna just leave that there. Anyway, the first, there really wasn't too much that went down. There were two main things. The first one that I had an issue with was that whole scene with Drew, her son, her baby daddy, and her husband. That whole scene made me very uncomfortable. And what I mean by uncomfortable, I don't mean uncomfortable like, I just mean it was a cringeworthy scene because you have your child who was clearly having some issues adjusting, adopting, coming to grips with his new norm. The fact that his daddy, who he did not know, is now wanting to be back in the picture. The father, the person he's been calling his dad his whole life, and now he has to figure out a way to make room for this new guy, who, is technically his biological dad. And you may not want to say, hey, your dad's been in jail your whole life and he just got out of jail and now he's coming around. But there is a question about, well, where the hell this man been all my life, And the little boy, now somebody put in my comments that they think that they heard Drew speak on the fact that her son has autism. So maybe that had something to do with the way he talks, because I felt like he was rude.
The little boy?
Yes. Now I understood the little boy's, I understood where he was coming from. And in the beginning, I even understood his straightforward and matter of factness. But I think last night, I think he was rude. And I think Drew should have checked him. Not necessarily checked him in front of the daddy. Mm-hmm. Not done, you don't need to, and I appreciate that the daddy how he took it. He said, I understand. But I feel like at the end of the day, he's still your father. And even if he wasn't your daddy, there's a level of respect that you just give an adult that I feel like he wasn't given. Like, even if he wasn't your daddy, like if he was talking like that to an adult that y'all were having lunch with, that shouldn't have been acceptable, much less his father. And so it was.
What did he say to daddy?
Yes, I was just going to give you some examples.
Okay.
So it was stuff like, they were like, so, are you happy to, see your dad? No. Okay, well, tell your dad about school. I don't feel like it. It was stuff like that. And I was just like, okay, I understand. Again, you don't know this man. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like some stuff, and not everything he said, but I felt like the longer the conversation went on, I feel like the ruder he got. Now, that's just my 2 cents. Y'all, I don't know if that's your way of disagreeing with me, or
you put the thing on your face. Okay, before I jump into this blindly, because I ain't watched none of this bullshit, I would just like to say, y'all, you look like 20 pounds smaller in the face. I don't know. You looking real.
You do look like you lose.
You lost some weight or something. I don't know if I picked up the 20 pounds because I feel like I look.
I was actually going to wait and say it backstage because I hate when people say that to me and I'm not really doing anything. But you do look smaller. You do look smaller.
Look. I've been out the military since November 19. And having to constantly be fit, having a chance to just eat whatever the hell I want. Then we had quarantine, but now it's time for me to,
get yourself back together.
Get myself back together.
I definitely see it. I don't know, but I do. I'm not being funny, because I hate when people say it to me, and I'll be like, "Girl, I just ate a whole pizza last night. Leave me alone." But I do actually see it.
This heifer said a whole pizza. Okay, so now that I've got, because I was distressed. Oh, he think he trying to get fucking on us. Okay, I ain't mad at it. I'm like,
look. Don't let your boy hear you saying that. I don't need no problems from him. I don't need him coming over here with the bullshit.
What's up, Jasminita?
Whatever.
Okay, go ahead, Abby.
So I am not. Listen, this nigga been in jail this whole time?
I think he's been in jail the majority of the time.
Okay.
I can't say the whole time, but I feel like the majority of the time.
But he ain't been here.
Like 9. Was he like 9?
Y'all. The boy's 9.
And I feel like the majority of the time he's been in jail. And then when he was a baby, she used to take him to go visit, but of course he doesn't remember that. He doesn't remember it.
Listen here. This is a lot to thrust a 9-year-old, possibly autistic child into.
With cameras in his
face.
I agree.
So I would give him some, listen, because I can only speak about how I would have. Listen, nigga, why the fuck am I telling you anything? Who are you, my nigga? What are you talking about? No thanks. Return to sender. I don't want it. What the fuck is this? I don't know.
He knows who he is. He knows that's his father. He knows who he is. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand his resistance. I get that. And like I said, to his dad's credit, he was cool. He was like, I get it. I understand. It's going to take time for us to build a relationship. Like, he wasn't upset at all.
Okay.
But as a viewer, I was like, okay, I think this is a bit much. As a viewer. One, I was upset because I didn't feel like this should have been part of her storyline. Like the first conversation they had with the little boy when they were saying, hey, your dad wants to meet you. He's going to come visit you. How do you feel about that? His response then I felt was a lot. But because he was like, I don't want to. And he was like, well, don't make me because I don't want to. And she was like, I kind of have to. Like you.
No, she doesn't.
No, she does. I think she does.
No.
I think she does. Because and this is me on the outside looking at, I don't have no children, but I think she does. That man, you chose him. I mean, you chose him. You said he won't shit when you had a baby by him. So him going to jail was a potential when you was dating him. And so my thing is, fast forward now, you never terminated his parental rights. You are remarried. You got a whole baby by your husband. So it's not a situation where, no, If he wants a relationship with his child, I think he has a right to that. What's up?
No, not that he doesn't have a right to it. My thing is I'm not going to force my kid into that type of situation. Now, I would probably bring in some type of therapist situation where we sit down and we talk and we get him to a space where he wants to meet his dad, and then we bring it in that way. But if he's hellfire resistant against it, I'm not gonna force it, because forcing it is just, you're gonna end up with an interaction like you got with at this last thing where he's sitting at the table talking about, like, I don't want to be here. I told you motherfuckers I didn't want to be here with this nigga, but y'all steady trying to force this shit, and that may do more harm than good to y'all trying to force. You can't just because you are saying, well, I want it, and okay, if that's what you want, then that's what we'll do. But nobody's taking that kid into consideration. And this is talking from a parent who, I had multiple children by multiple people, and having to introduce my son back into his father's family after like a 4 or 5 year break span of him not doing anything with his dad. So
the only thing that I wanted to bring, because I don't know if it was mentioned when I stepped away, but before this meeting, Drew, because I don't really have much to say on this. I want to say my comments for later because I got some shit for Drew.
Oh,
but there was a scene where she and Ralph sat down with him, and she was literally trying to coach and push for this sit down. And he made it very clear, I don't care. I don't want to meet with this man. But she continued to push the issue. And I'm going to just be the one to say it, not because she cares about her son having a relationship with his father, but because she wanted to sing for this damn show. So you already knew he wasn't featuring his father. And then you put these two together. Y'all can't be mad at how this little boy responded, because he made it clear when it was first brought up, I don't care. I really don't want to do this. I don't want to see him. And then you put him there, and what you want him to do? Sit here and shit out rainbows, unicorns, and pixie dust?
Listen.
I agree with that part of it. And so let me qualify what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it should have been forced in that manner, because that was, this whole thing started because I had a whole problem with that scene. I think the little boy was rude, but I had a whole problem with the fact that the scene even happened for our viewing pleasure. And that's what I meant by it made me uncomfortable, because I felt like that wasn't, none of it's our business when we want to talk about reality shows. But I do think that there's some things that need to be, that just need to stay private. And I feel like that was a very sensitive situation.
And it was cringy.
It'd be different. It was very cringy. It'd be different if he was 18 and he consented to this situation and daddy ain't been shit. And now we having this whole sit down between daddy who want to come back into his 18-year-old child's life. That's okay, fine. Because everybody signed up for that, right? But he's 9. And yes, y'all, he was very clear, because I don't think he was very clear that he had no interest in meeting this man. Now, taking it out of the show and talking about what I'm saying, as far as I don't think it should have been done in that manner.
Yeah.
But I do agree with what you're saying, Abby, that you build up to it. What's up, Diddy? Hey, what's up, Diddy 758? Now, Diddy, y'all go check out Diddy. He reviews the 90 Day Fiancés and Ready to Love, and what's that other one, y'all? 90 Day Fiancé, Ready to Love
Married at First
Sight. Yeah, Married at First Sight. And he does Love After Lockup too, when that new season comes back around. So y'all check out Diddy over there. Well, thank you, Diddy. Thank you so much. But y'all check him out. Y'all know if I got a mod in the room, can y'all find his link and drop his link in the chat, please? So that's all I was saying. I agree with what you're saying, that I don't think it should have been done in that manner. But I do feel like as a 9-year-old child, now I ain't saying I'm putting him on a plane, because the father lives in LA. I ain't putting him on a plane. I'm not sending him away. Like, I would have done it the exact same way that happened. It would have been a supervised, I'm sitting there the whole time. No, you don't get that. No, we're building up. Matter of fact, you can't even take him to the park to play basketball. No. We're not doing none of that. Right. But I do feel like there should be a road to him spending time with his father. Now that's all I'm saying. But I agree with what you're saying that manner was. I agree 100% that manner was wrong. But I feel like both things. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like both things could be true. That yes, one, they shouldn't have forced it because he was very clear. But I also think he was rude. I also think he was rude. But go ahead, y'all.
Well, he was rude because they forced him into this situation.
So
now, like I told you, I didn't want to be.
But that didn't give me the right to be rude. I'd have got popped in the mouth.
I just want to say this, because after this, I'm gonna wait till we get to the last piece. But here's what I'm trying to figure out. So, and it's all going. Look, I'm an air traffic controller by heart, so we gonna circle for a minute before I bring you down to land. But okay, no, we in the tower. We not outside doing this, baby. That's not what we doing. Okay, don't disrespect my profession.
I'm sorry, my bad.
You're the one looking at the screen and all the green blips on the thing.
I know, right?
So here's my thing. So you came on here and you didn't talk about your husband going to Tampa. It came up one time after the girl trip, but we ain't heard nothing about it. Fake ass storyline. Then you want to have this therapy session where and I don't know if it was in a therapy session, but she said to us that he treats Josiah differently than the children they have in their union.
Now that part.
But why is it that when you and Ralph were talking to your son leading up to this, that Ralph had all the words and you didn't? That Ralph was able to sit here and talk to the son, but you couldn't. And then at this sit down, you couldn't get your words out, but Ralph was. And Ralph was being very attentive to your son. Who the fuck are you trying to fool here, Drew?
Hey, Tabitha, what's up, babes? I'm gonna be honest.
So I'm leaving it at that.
No. I'm gonna be honest with you, y'all. I feel like Ralph is getting a raw deal. And I'm gonna tell you why I feel like Ralph was getting a raw deal. I feel like we gave Ralph. Abby just fell off. Okay, did she just? I just got a text. Was that her texting me? Maybe she got something going on. Yeah, she may or may not be back. My thing is this. In the first 2 episodes, we were sold that Ralph was this horrible husband, left her, walked out the house in the middle of the night, didn't tell her where he was going, disappeared for 3 or 4 days, went to Tampa. Right, we got, and then we had that horrible dinner where he was nasty to her and rude. We have not seen any more of that behavior from Ralph the rest of this season, outside of him buying a house and her name not being on it. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But we have not seen any more of that. We have not heard her speak anymore, like you said, about this alleged trip to Tampa. We haven't, and like you said, she brought that up at therapy about how he treats the children unequally. We have seen no follow-up to that. Now, again, I don't know if this goes back to certain things were filmed and they chose not to show us, or if that never came back up again, because again, you start with something and we don't see no more of it. It's crazy to me, but I'm not going to dwell on that. I think Drew, I just think we might have got a bad rap. I think Ralph might have got a bad rap, y'all. I'm willing to give Ralph the benefit of the doubt on this one. You feel like Ralph was in the mess with Drew? They a team? They may be.
Yeah, it was a scheme they both came up with to come
up by Todd.
This ain't got nothing to do with Todd. Todd didn't even did this one.
I know. I'm just saying. So okay. One last thing, and then we're gonna move on to the final scene, which is what we all really want to talk about. Okay, Jazz. Okay, y'all think y'all think it's a team? Okay, well then maybe it ain't Ralph. Maybe they in on it together. Can we talk for 2 seconds? I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on this. Can we talk for 2 seconds about how stupid Kenya is? Kenya, listen, Kenya, this man has been living in New York. Y'all have been separated for a year. You say that when you go to New York to visit him, you stay at a hotel. You don't get to stay in his apartment. Why does he still have a key to your front door, ma'am? He shouldn't have a garage code. He shouldn't have the key to the front door, the code to the security. He should not be able to have access to your home in any way, shape, or form without you. Second of all, if you did decide to be nice and let him stay there, what made him think that he has access to your bed and your body? Okay. And then after all of that is said and done, the next day he got you blocked. He got you blocked. Nothing about this relationship makes any logical sense. Nothing. Anyway, I ain't spending a whole lot of time on that. I just had to bring it up because nothing about Kenya makes any sense whatsoever. Moving on. Now let's get to this bullshit at the end.
Yes, let's get to it.
So we're playing White Elephant. Now, I have played White Elephant. I love White Elephant. White Elephant is actually one of my favorite Christmas exchange games because you are, generally speaking, guaranteed to walk out the door with a decent gift. Now, when me and my family play White Elephant, so when we play White Elephant, we add a little twist to White Elephant because there's a twist to it that they didn't do last night. We do put gag gifts in the pile. We do. We also put non-gag gifts in the pile. So what I mean by that is we might have a $50 gift card to Target in the pile along with a roll of, like a tube of aluminum foil rolled, wrapped up. It's a gag gift. But because we play White Elephant a little differently, if you get a gag gift, the way we play White Elephant is you have the option of either taking the gift from somebody that has already opened up their gift or choosing from the pile. And because we always have extra gifts, we always have more than, because one, we buy extra gifts because somebody might show up without a gift and we don't ever want people to feel bad because they couldn't bring a gift or they forgot a gift or whatever. So we always have extra gifts because we want everybody to be able to participate. And two, because we do throw gag gifts in there, we want people to walk away with something, right? So I say all that to say, if you're going to throw a gag gift in there, you should also have a real gift. And you saw when Portia leaned over to Drew and was like, girl, you really do got a gift though, right? Because I think had Drew pulled out a real gift, it still was dumb. It still was in bad taste and it still wasn't funny. But it would have been, I think people's mindset would have been a little different. So let's rewind a little bit. So last night, it was the Christmas finale. First of all, why is Cynthia so simple? Who told her to get them llamas? Who told her to have them llamas in her driveway?
I like the llamas.
Y'all don't ever invite me to no Christmas party with llamas in the trunk.
Well, I'm not going to spend no money on that shit. I like them.
Actually, if you cook, I don't care about the llamas. If you cooking, I don't care about the llamas. Hey, give me shelter. Hey, everybody who's coming in while we talking, because we just kind of running our mouth, y'all. So, first of all, let's talk about the fact that Portia was 3 hours late.
All I will say is this. First and foremost, they have a call sheet. So they know when and where they have to be, and you can adjust how you need to. But since Andy had made it to where he was penalizing Robin Dixon on Potomac, I want that same energy for Portia, because that in general, she's been late, but 3 hours, that is so disrespectful to everybody that showed up to work on time.
And let's be clear, she's been late all season. She was late to the pumpkin patch, claiming she got lost. And here's the thing. Okay. Listen, I have missed a turn before. I have gotten turned around before. But when you put something in the GPS, it lets you know immediately you have missed your turn. Now, she said she put the wrong address in. Ma'am. So she was late. She was like 2 hours late for the pumpkin patch. She was late to Cynthia's fake, well, it wasn't fake, but Cynthia's engagement party. So, and Kenya tweeted out that she is always late. Now, I remember that was something that the ladies complained about with Quad. They said Quad was always late on Married to Medicine. Because what people don't understand is they hold up the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Because you saw that last night where Portia and them were 3 hours late, but they were still eating dinner, which means they waited for them for a certain amount of time before they actually, and it was probably wasn't until the producers was like, okay, y'all can go ahead and eat. But they probably had to, it wasn't like, people don't understand, they're not making these decisions on their own. Production has to say, okay, that's fine, y'all can go ahead and eat. We'll just film around it. That's what people don't understand. So if she was an hour and a half late getting there, that means they were literally sitting there waiting for them. They weren't filming. They were just sitting around waiting for them to show up. Same thing with the pumpkin patch. Same thing with, like you see that they've moved on, but they don't immediately move on. They wait. Especially if Portia has called to say, I'm on my way. So I know that that's kind of going behind the fourth wall, but that's another reason why it becomes an issue. So,
okay, well, if we're going to go behind the fourth wall, I'm going to keep it all the way 100 with you. Ain't nobody finna sit here and tell me I got to wait to eat. That's what's not finna happen. You not finna, I got to wait to eat. Y'all, what you doing? I need me a 3-piece and a biscuit with a Dr. Pepper, no ice.
Listen, and I'm surprised you didn't get her good Uber Eats delivery, honey, because we know how Candy feel about her food. Okay, no, quintessential. I'm not saying she got lost getting to Cynthia's house. I'm talking about another episode. Episode. All right. So, how did you feel about? First of all, how did you feel about the $1,000 limit for the white elephant party?
2 things. The main thing is, if that is what they agreed upon, if that's what you want to do you. But here's what I'm gonna say, and it's some real shit. If I'm with a group of people and I don't fuck with y'all like that, I wish the fuck I would spend a stack on you.
That's my okay. So here's my
I'm just being honest.
Here's my thing. All of those women, and even the one that make the least amount of money out of that circle, probably be flossing like that. I mean, let's be clear. One purse is over $1,000. Like, none of them are carrying now, whether the bags are real or not, whether they bought them from the swap meet or from the actual store, that's another conversation. But ain't none of them wearing a bag that costs less than $1,000. So I wasn't that like, I thought that $1,000 was too much, like you said, for people that you don't call friends. Like, these ain't even people you hang with on a regular basis. You only hang with, most of these people only hang together when they filming. Right. Like, most of these people only hang together when they're filming. And if I'm really your friend, like, for example, Portia and Shamia, I'm sure they have already hooked each other up for Christmas. Like, I don't need to buy you another gift for $1,000 because I already got a gift under the tree for you in the price range that I decided to buy it in. I mean, it is what it is. I think that was a flossing moment. I think they were trying to impress the viewers. And once again, I just have to compare the Real Housewives of Atlanta to the Real Housewives. Bless you. Bless you again. Sorry. I just have to once again compare to the other franchises. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they don't have to put a limit on it. Why they don't have to put a limit on it? Because that's how them hoes shop all the time anyway. Like, I have literally seen them out shopping, and they will put their shit, they will all go to the counter, and one of them will take out a card and just be like, oh, I got it. Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. And they will show you the total up on the register, and it'd be $10,000, $15,000. Like, I have literally seen on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erica Jane shopping with Kyle, and Erica be like, just put yours with mine. It's okay. Yeah. Okay. Matter of fact, let me go pick up some other shit. So that don't impress me when I look at these other shows.
But what I will say is, when this show first aired, that was the energy we got. Them just dropping money. So for this show, cool. I'm just saying, for me, it's just like, I don't fuck with y'all like that. But at the same time, if this is my job, cool, because I'm also one of those where, well, if I'm finna do it, I'm finna do it. So I'm gonna bring in a gift where y'all just like, well, damn, y'all, did you have to stunt like that? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well, we know Eric. Eric ain't picking up no tabs no more. But I was just using her. I was just using that as an example. So let's fast forward. So they're doing the gift exchange. Everybody's got some nice gifts, except for, ain't nobody like that Tiffany and Company gift that Cynthia had. I mean, listen, it was Tiffany, and every woman liked that little blue box from Tiffany, but they were not impressed with Cynthia's Tiffany's box. Y'all, why you go off camera? Come on back, y'all. Come on back. Oh, okay. I thought he would. Sometimes y'all go off camera trying to be funny. Okay, he must have to actually go do something. So I don't know why they wasn't impressed with you know what? I guess I feel like because people maybe felt like it was just regular schmegular Tiffany's. It wasn't like anything special Tiffany's. It was like regular schmegular, anybody can go buy it kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway, so they wasn't impressed with Cynthia's Tiffany's gift. But we go around the room and, some gifts we liked, some gifts we didn't like. It was what it was. And then we get to Drew.
God damn it.
Who actually has a 3-part gift. You see, I got on the Tiffany blue nails. Listen, I love me some Tiffany's now. Ain't nothing wrong with little Tiffany's. You wasn't impressed with it either, Tracy? Okay, well, listen.
You got to excuse me. My allergies are acting up completely today, so please excuse me. Oh, damn.
It's all good. It's all good. But we get to Drew's gift. Now, LaToya didn't come because LaToya said, I don't have time for these fake hoes. So she said she wasn't coming. And Marlo was like, listen, I ain't coming, but I am going to send a gift. And she just sent 1,000 stacks. She just sent 10 stacks. She was like, listen, I'm going to just go on and just give y'all cash. Like, y'all can buy whatever y'all want with it. And so she put $1,000 in a box. And let me say this. If I'm playing white elephant with that group of women, how about Marlo's gift is the gift I'm picking up first?
Yes.
Like, out of everybody in that room, Marlo is the one who I trust the most in that room. I'm just being honest. My second person would have been Portia. And both of those gifts were nice. My second one would have been Portia. And my third one would have been Candy. It would have been just in that order. Marlo, Portia, Candy. And I would have been happy with all of their gifts. But anyway, it definitely wouldn't have been Cynthia. And it wouldn't have been Cynthia's sister either. Wouldn't have been either one of them. Anyway. So Drew says, well, my gift is in 3 parts. Now, I don't know whether it was production or it was just the luck of the damn draw, but somehow or another, Candy was the one that actually opened up Drew's gift.
Well, all I'll say is this. They came in late, so we knew what Portia brought. We knew what Drew brought. Right. And everybody, I think we all can agree when it comes to hair, fashions, and everything else.
Yeah,
Drew
she was
ain't
the
it.
last person. Yeah.
So intentionally, I think everybody passed up her gift on purpose.
Yeah, hers would have been the last gift I picked up. Yeah, I would have definitely. She would have did. Yeah.
Tabitha, Toya did show up, but we're going to get to that.
But she didn't bring a gift. She did not bring a gift.
But get to that, or I guess we could say the roundup. Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about for Drew because, whoo.
So
I'm
the
give
first
it to
gift
here, and I'm gonna give it to her on the panel tonight. I'm gonna give it.
Oh, I know you are. So the first gift they opened up, it was a cat carrier with a wig inside
that wasn't cleaned. Previously worn. It's like she slept at the Goodwill, woke up in Salvation Army, and that's how she got that wig. Yeah.
And she had a nerve to say that it was $1,000 wig. Ma'am, no ma'am.
Maybe 10 years ago, it would have been $1,000.
I don't even listen, I am nobody's wigologist, okay? I could probably count on one hand how many times I have worn a wig in my life, right? So I am nobody's wigologist. However, even I know that wasn't no $1,000 wig. Then she donated $100 to the Humane Society. And the whole gag of that gift, you guys, was supposed to be that they called her wig a beast at the beginning of the season. And so that's where the whole cat carrier with the wig came from, because that they were hating on her wig at the beginning of the season and they called it a beast or something to that effect. Also, Toya did bring a Gucci purse. Okay. So, yeah. Then there was a cassette tape.
And a boombox.
Oh, she actually brought the boombox with her?
Yep. I don't know where the hell. Wait. I don't know where in 2020 we didn't got a cassette player boombox from.
When they pulled the cassette tape out, I said, is that her demo tape from the 90s? Like, I was like, is that, like, did she bring her original demo tape? I was like, what the fuck? And because I said the same thing. I said, first of all, who the fuck, where they find a cassette tape? And second of all, where they find a player? Like, who still has a radio in their house that plays a cassette tape? Now, I know some people do, but the average person just don't have one laying around their house. Let's be clear. I mean, we just don't. So she said that the tape was going to prove that LaToya and Pastor Holy Whore Part 2 was lying.
Oh, you talking about parking lot? Is that what we're talking about?
Pastor Lot, or what's his name? He ain't a pastor.
Parking lot.
Parking lot.
Parking lot.
So allegedly, it was going to clear that up. So we're listening to the tape. We listened to it the first time. We listened to it a second time. We even listened to it a third time. And not one person, probably including production, felt like this tape proved that anybody was a liar. All the man said was, yeah, I like LaToya. And I definitely understand the situation that she's in, going through a separation, because I met the mother of my child while I was technically still married. First of all, the tape sounded like it was edited. It still sounded like it was the middle of a conversation out of context. But second of all, that doesn't prove that the two of them are sleeping together. It still doesn't prove that they're in any type of nefarious relationship and that LaToya has done anything with this man. And even if it did, like Candy said, why do you keep trying to make this a LaToya problem? If anything, it's a both of them problem. Why are you putting it all on LaToya? I'm mad you still have your Lion King on Broadway. Because listen, listen. I see the people in the chat that said they still got cassette tapes. I'm so happy for y'all. I'm so happy for you. Listen, when I bought my last car, was it my last car or the car before last? When there was no cassette tape no tape deck in my car, my feelings was hurt. I was like, what? There's no what? But anyway, so how did you feel about the tape? The tape. Yeah.
I'm a pass. I'm gonna save my commentary.
All right.
Okay, so, I'm gonna need a few minutes to talk to Drew Fedora. I'm gonna need a handful of minutes.
So, all right. So just at that moment, interestingly enough, here comes LaToya. Miss, I wasn't going to come to the party, but now I'm here and dressed and ready for the bullshit. Now, LaToya was drunk or something else, and I'm just going to leave that there, ... She walked in the door on 20. Let's be clear. But I wasn't mad at LaToya for coming for Drew, because Drew was doing a whole lot. She was extra, doing a whole lot. Out of order. She was just 120% out of order. That whole gift was out of order. They ended up Drew ended up throwing the wig. Toya ended up throwing the wig at Drew, and Drew was lunging for her. Production had to break it up, and they eventually got LaToya out of there. Kenya got her in the car. Did you see Kenya getting frustrated with trying to get that woman in the car?
But I understand Kenya in that moment. Cause I know a lot of people couldn't understand it, because for me it was clear that LaToya was under the influence of something. And And my time in Korea, waiting in the cab line or whatnot, and trying to get my crew back to the barracks so it ain't no bullshit. So I'm having to sit here and try to sober up to be somewhat sober, trying to keep people from fighting. Like, get the fuck in the, like, I understand it where it's like, hurry up and get in here so we don't cause a scene, so this don't happen, the MPs don't come, we ain't locked up. I get that. I know a lot of people thought Kenya was put in 2010. I think Kenya was just trying to save her from embarrassing herself.
Oh, I 100% understood why Kenya was getting Drew out of there. Like, I 100%. Because again, let's remember, y'all, we saw the edited version. We don't know how long that argument went back and forth and how bad it got. So I absolutely understood. In that moment, I absolutely understood Kenya getting LaToya the hell out of there. Like, I understood her getting mad at the carolers. Them poor carolers came showing up to sing. I understood that she damn near hit one of the carolers. Like, she was like, can y'all please get out of my way? I need to get the hell up out of here. But Drew was out of order. That whole situation Drew was out of order. Now, I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to let Yocrates say his piece. Go.
Don't go off screen. Don't go off screen. I want you to say it because I want to see your facial expressions. But here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
First off, I am very disappointed in Drew because she let Chicago down. I don't want her to ever say that she's from Chicago, though she's from the South Side. I'm from the West Side, so that says a lot, but I don't want her to bring it up ever again because you are a disgrace. Number one. Number two, Drew Fedora is one of those people where this is a dangerous human being that you don't want to be around, because this is one of those individuals, not necessarily one, but an individual that will sit here and dog whistle to, you know, a group of holier than thou Christians that are very religious and not spiritual in no way, shape, form, or fashion. And the fact that you went so far as to set LaToya up, because that's exactly what you did, where you set her up. And I know a lot of people are mad with Candy. I'm going off for a second because Candy isn't holding Kenya to the fire like holding Drew. But here's the difference. Everything that Kenya brought up happened on camera. Though the cameras may have been covered, all cameras have a voice capturing device. So even had we never seen anything, we would have got the audio. So it was still on camera. What Drew was bringing up never was on camera. So you sit here, employ an assistant, a driver, a friend, whoever, to sit here and minister to this woman, take her to church, put her in somebody's path to sit here and minister to her just to turn the hell around and throw this back in her face as an attack. And then you sit here and you want to call her Delilah without giving background to who this is. I know who this is from Samson Delilah, but doing that is like someone saying that you have a Jezebel spirit or this or that. And it's so funny that you want to call her Delilah, but holier than thou, but is your child not out of wedlock? You want to sit here and try to call her out her name, but were you not busting it wide open on the table for Bolo? But you want to sit here and you want to try to sit here and condemn someone. And I am Jewish, yes, but I was Christian first. And the holier than thou Christians that I cannot get with is for y'all who want to sit here and say you are Christian, yet you hold tighter to the teachings of Paul than you do the teachings of Jesus, because Paul said we don't live by the law and we can't be judged by the law. So with that being said, then why are you using the law to crucify this woman? Why are you doing that? And if you really want to be a representation of who Jesus is, I got 3 books for you to read: Luke, Matthew, and Mark. And we could throw John on the end of that, because that right there.
Throw John in there. You might as well go and throw John in.
But that right there, those are the teachings of Jesus right there. And then also, how is it that you have people that you want to listen to Paul who ain't never seen Jesus, just had a vision of him, but you don't want to listen to the 11 disciples because you know one had to be done away with, but we don't listen to them, but you follow the teachings of this person. But if anything, you should be modeling yourself after those 4 books where Jesus was present, because Jesus did not condemn a woman for being a hoe, a harlot, a whoremonger. Well, what did he do? He was in the midst and he ministered to them and he helped them get on the good foot, but never once did he judge them. So everything that you are doing is so stereotypical. And when you do stuff like this and you throw out these buzzwords, now you're going to have a whole community coming down on this woman, but they not judging you. And what you're doing is you're deflecting from the bullshit that you did when y'all was on that girls trip. That is exactly what it is that you are doing. And I say all that to say, Drew is a dangerous woman. A woman that will do that. And for you to sit here and try to say, because she gives off this presence of being women's empowerment, but you have a very male-oriented mentality. Because the fact that you would sit here and blame a woman saying that this woman prayed and tried to destroy this man of God, but this quote unquote man of God who has a title, you not holding him to the fight, but you hold another woman.
I didn't understand that. Yeah, like the fact that she's giving this man this a pass. Like, I don't understand that at all. I don't understand. I mean, and I will say that, you know, Candy has been, you know.
But I think that's why Candy was so upset, because Candy is a very free woman. So the fact that you're trying to slut shame and bring all this on,
which is exactly what she was doing.
So, but a lot of people couldn't understand why she got so mad. It wasn't just the present, but it's why are you trying to sit here and do this woman like this? And I think part of it is also Candy looking at her like, girl, I know what you did. We was in South Carolina. You are wanting to talk. But see, here's the funny thing, though, Drew, and I hope you really listening. You better hope and pray you get right with God before you leave this earth, because what you don't realize is your actions. See, when you turn someone away from God, that's a strike against you.
That's right. That's
so when you go meet the Lord, and he said he run you a list of all the people that you done turned away, if hell does exist, you might have a place there. That's all I got.
Well, in hell, you will lift up their side. I've been telling people for years, the Lord is not going to ask you about what anybody else did. He going to ask you about the deeds done in your body. So you might want to. I don't even know what she did. I didn't know what she did.
Even if she does, the reality is, even if, you mean if Drew act like she wanted to profit? Yeah, I mean, she does act like she his woman. Like, she acts like Toya did something to her personally. And that whole, again, and you're right, that whole toxic Christianity, that just grinds my gears. Oh.
I mean, like, I'm all for the salad bar Christians. I'm all for that. Do what you do. My thing is, I just don't like when people sit here and you quote Paul saying that we don't live by the law, but the very chance you get, you want to condemn a person by the letter of the law. But if we go to this same part of the book, the Old Testament that y'all claim don't exist, would you like it if we sat here and we read down your whole fast compared to this book right here? Would you really appreciate that? Because it talk about not getting tattoos, not eating shellfish, not mixing dairy and meat. Like, it's a whole list of stuff that we can.
Right. If we want to start going into the Old Testament, it's a whole lot of stuff. It talks about women not cutting their hair. Like, it's a whole lot of stuff in the Old Testament, man.
Not mixing fabrics.
Yep. Right. You can't mix the fabrics. Yeah, it's a whole lot. Absolutely. Listen.
But that's all that I have. That's it. And if anybody wants to have a conversation with me about it, God knows somebody gonna get mad. Like, oh, you're a Jew, you can't speak. Trust me, I was raised Baptist, and the fact that I'm Jewish, I've done my studies and I know quite a bit.
I don't see why you being Jewish would have anything to do with your.
Somebody find a reason. Plus, again, I just sat here and shot Christianity that people don't want to hear. So yeah. But again, I'm just being all the way 100. But what I'm saying is, with a person like Drew, you have to be very weary of people like that, because you took the fact that you called this woman when she was down, took her to get spiritual advice, and the first chance you get, you're coming at her now because she's not drinking. Isn't that what you wanted? And then you want to sit here and bring up stuff that happened, but it wasn't even caught on camera behind the scenes. So now you're using this spiritual event against her as a fiery dart. And again, the Bible speaks clearly. A person that sows discord is one of the 7 things that God detests. Again, all I'm saying is she need to get right. And anybody that's caping for the bullshit that she did, you might want to spirituality as well.
I agree 100%. I had a problem.
So to quote Cynthia Bailey, what else is going on?
You said what's it? Oh, well, we about to wrap this up in a minute, but my thing is, that's the one thing I felt that way. And you know what, Tracy, I hear what you're saying, Tracy, but here's my issue. I I take things on an issue by issue basis. So I'm not a LaToya fan either, but I can look at this situation and I can 100% say what I need to say about Drew. Like, I'm not going to give Drew a pass on her bullshit just because it was against LaToya. I'm just not that person. And because somebody put that in my comments last week when I came for Drew last week, and I was like, well, LaToya did this and LaToya did that. Absolutely. Ain't nobody ever said LaToya was innocent. I said in this situation, though, Drew was wrong. I take stuff by, and that's what gets me in trouble all the time, because people want me to hold people accountable for shit they did in episode 1, and we all the way in episode 10, and I'm like, but one doesn't justify the other. I'm taking the shit, and I'm just taking shit at a one time. I can't even get my words out. One point at a time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, I ain't giving LaToya a pass. I'm not a LaToya fan. I think her showing up last night when that episode, drunk and or whatever it was,
I think Kenya called her. I think that was one of them phone conversations.
I think Kenya called her too.
I think Kenya called her.
Because it just seemed real interesting when she showed up and with the energy she showed up with. Because she walked in the door on 20. Like, she didn't walk in the door with, girl, I'm so sorry I'm late. I wasn't going to come, but I changed my mind. She walked in the door on 20. So yeah, I feel like that was one of them phone calls. I feel like when she pretended like she was on the phone with Brooklyn, because I feel like they probably already had come up with a code. I mean, how many of us have done that before, where you and your friend both get invited somewhere and you don't know whether you want to go or not, and so you and your friends come up with a little code. You know, I'm gonna let you know if it's cool to come through or not, or I'm gonna let you know if you need to come through, or I'm gonna let you know if it's some bullshit and I'm leaving early. Like, I mean, I know I've done it with my friends. Like, they running late and I get there first. I text them and be like, girl, I'll meet you at the Cheesecake Factory. This is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, or, girl, get your ass here right now. Now. You know what I'm saying? But I absolutely feel like somebody gave Toya the heads up to bring her ass. I absolutely believe that. Now, you said you haven't looked at Married to Medicine yet, so ain't no need for us to really get too deep into that because you haven't watched it. This episode wasn't really a whole lot to it. It was just a few things that I was going to touch on. Let me say this, and I'm not ruining this by saying, I'm not going to ruin the episode for you by saying this. Maybe, and I feel like I say this every week, maybe I've been watching reality shows too long, or they're not being as clever with masking things anymore. Meaning, so we already got word that Lisa Nicole and Carrie Ann were coming back this season in a limited capacity, but they were going to be back. So they're taking the trip to DC, and they give us this lazy ass scene where LaToya invites Carrie to go to DC. Mind you, they done rented a private jet because of COVID. They figured that would be the safest way to travel, and all of them chipped in on a private jet. And Heavenly has gotten an Airbnb rather than staying at a hotel. They just got they were gonna probably do the Airbnb anyway because they always do that when they go on their trips. You mean to tell me that LaToya invites not one extra person, but 2 extra people without calling Heavenly, giving her the benefit of the doubt, giving her the heads up, telling her, and you mean to tell me that all Heavenly did when they showed up on the plane was be like, oh, hell no. You know, like I know, Heavenly would have blown a fucking gasket. Because first of all, if we all put in on this private plane, are we going to reconfigure what I owe? Because I need y'all to do the math again, and I need y'all to factor in those 2 hoes that I didn't invite. That's number one. I need you to give me, we're going to reach, so we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we had originally based this on 10 people. We need to add it up to 12 people. And then I need you to give me my money. Like, go on and cash app it to me. That's fine. I'll take it right now before we get off the plane. Just cash app it to me right now. Log into the plane's Wi-Fi and cash app it. That's number one. And number 2, when we get to the house, y'all just happen to have 2 extra rooms. Y'all just happen to have enough room. Mind you, it was a bunch of them to begin with. Y'all just happen to have 2 extra rooms. And again, Dr. Heavenly, now if this had been Dr. Jackie's trip, maybe. But Dr. Heavenly, out of everybody on that show, Heavenly ain't say shit. Heavenly ain't cuss all of them out. Well, ain't no way in hell. And none of them said anything like, well, we're just going to fly up with you guys. We got our own hotel room because we know you probably... Like, none of that. Just assuming that it was enough space for everybody. And so I was like, clearly this is production.
I mean, but there is enough space on the front lawn, in the backyard.
I'm sure it's a pull-out couch somewhere in there.
No, not a pull-out couch. Take your ass to Target, get you a tent.
Air mattress
in the back, and we'll see y'all in the morning. I'm sorry, I'm petty. I'm petty. I'm sorry. This is why I can't do reality television, because I'm way too real for this shit. They're gonna be like, y'all come the hell no.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I was really sitting there last night, and I didn't even, because it was one of those things where I didn't even entertain it in my review. I wasn't like, well, like, I didn't even make a big deal about it. I was just like, because I'm not about to sit here and I ain't playing with y'all's emotions more than they play with mine. Because we all know that was some bullshit. Because there's no way in hell that Toya, and it would even be different if Toya and Dr. Heavenly were cool. Toya and Dr. Heavenly don't see it for each other. They are straight beefing. And you want to invite not one person, but two people that I don't fuck with. So I already don't fuck with you. You want to invite two other people that I don't fuck with? No, man. And I don't have nothing to say. I mean, Heavenly did what Heavenly does, but she ain't go off. We have seen Heavenly go off for less. Again, I just feel like there was a way that they could have filmed that without playing with my emotions. Like, you could.
Maybe she was heavily medicated for the flight.
Child, my thing is, y'all could have even mentioned it. If they had mentioned it, I would have let them have it. If they had shown Dr. Heavenly saying to Carrie and Lisa Marie, you need to talk
Lisa Marie,
whatever, Lisa Nicole, whatever the child name is. I would have even given it to them if they had leaned over, if Heavenly had leaned over and said, you need to talk to Daddy about how much you owe him for the jet, because we put it on his credit card. Like, even if it was mentioned, I would have been like, okay, well, at least they're going to pretend like there was an issue. I could see when they got to the house, if they made a bigger deal, if Heavenly made a bigger deal about maybe not having a room for them. Like, give me something.
Okay, now when it comes to these reality shows, y'all really think that they paid for the Airbnb and their private jet? I know it's the illusion. But we know they didn't do it.
I know they didn't. Well, here's the thing. I know they didn't pay for that damn jet. They didn't pay for that Airbnb either. But I was gonna let them have it. You see what I'm saying? I was gonna give them that illusion. I was gonna give them the illusion you know why I was gonna give them the illusion? Because they had multiple conversations about the jet. You see what I'm saying? They made it a storyline and they stuck to it. They had the guys have a conversation. They had Damon bring it up and say, listen, all of us are traveling. We want to make sure we're traveling as safe. Oh, you got your package? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you got it, Reese's Pieces. I hope you like it. We saw the guys bring up the fact that was the safest way for them to travel. And because it was so many of them, they could all go in on a private jet and it wouldn't break their pockets too much. It was about the equivalent of a first class plane ticket. Okay, cool. And then we saw them bring it up, 2 or 3 other times. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt if you continue to bring it up. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with you on that, Tabitha. I think the pandemic made not just reality TV production lazy. I think it made all TV production lazy. Because
not all
complained about, Queen Sugar this season.
Look. We not gonna throw the Jersey hoes in this mix now.
Well, but I still think even some of their production has been lazy. It's just been entertaining. It's still been lazy.
Okay, all right.
I mean, we literally made a whole cash trip, a whole 3-day, 2-episode cash trip out of doing a memorial for Teresa's dad. Now, that's no disrespect to Teresa's dad, but do you think in a regular season that would have been a thing?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
No, because if I'm not mistaken, last season it wasn't necessarily 2 episodes, but there was a memorial that they did out at sea. And what happened is, I think it was probably the season before, and there was an issue with the girl who put the trip together, Ziggy, not knowing that they were doing it at the beach, but they have done something for Teresa in the previous season.
Oh, I'm not saying it wouldn't have been addressed or acknowledged. I just don't know if it would have been on that scale. But because
Okay,
that's like, I know, like with Dallas has been very lazy this season. Like their first cast trip, they went to San Antonio, Texas, and then they just came back from Oklahoma. I'm like, wow, really? Like,
well,
really?
traveling is
Right.
difficult.
But no, I'm saying, but I know that's what I'm saying, because of COVID, they were very limited. You know what I'm saying?
Abby.
Yes.
Because I was going to say it, but I can't. It appears that you might have had a friend come over, because you went from your head not all the way being in your face to being in your face, and that's one of them.
I was trying to hide the fact that there's no lash on this eye, but you
gotta
call that out.
Trying to do.
Y'all, listen, I was trying to camouflage the fact that there's no lash. Thanks, y'all. You know, I can't have nothing.
So it got knocked off in the extracurricular activities. That's all you had to say.
Damn. Really, y'all? That's what we doing? That's what we doing, y'all.
You calling me out like that, y'all? That's what we doing?
Get it how you live, baby.
I just feel like there's a lot of lazy.
Look. At least I'm not Drew Sidora you right now. I'm just saying, get it how you live, baby. Okay.
I'm too old to get Drew Sidora, because if you get in because if somebody get in my business, like apparently that bitch did, listen, all her shit gonna be fucked up. This whole part of her face is gonna be fucked up, fooling with me.
Now,
I'm
gonna say this, and then we're gonna get out of here. It does seem like Bravo is getting back on schedule, because we got a teaser for the Real Housewives of Potomac last night. At the end of the episode, and they're right back on. They're coming back this summer. That's normally when Potomac normally. Now the difference is it's normally not this close from filming to when the show airs, because usually they film in the fall. They film in late summer, fall, and the season doesn't come back until that next summer. So it's usually like a year. That's why the whole thing with Monique, it had been a year for the fight, because they started filming in January.
Well, chances are, maybe they had a whole lot happen. But even when they do bring it out, they're still going to continue recording, because they do that with all the shows where they give you half a season and keep going. And Lauren, Lauren gonna say, y'all stop noticing every damn thing. So okay.
Me too, Tracy. I thank you so, and that's why I love.
You could have at least waited until we was backstage.
Right? Okay.
You could have waited until we was backstage to say.
Well, no, I mean, I have something to ask you when we get backstage. See, I ain't put everything out there. Hell,
Xavier, I hate to be the one to tell you, but Monique's not coming back, boo. I'm sorry. I really hate to be the one to tell you that Monique is not coming back. Not only is Monique not coming back, Monique is spilling secrets over on her YouTube channel.
Monique didn't sit here and pour some gasoline on the bridge and set that mug aflame.
If y'all go over to Monique's YouTube channel, she has started publishing her binder chronicles, and she's doing it in riddle form, but she's actually
Nope.
She's actually telling the business. And I was looking at one of her lives the other day, and she said that any negative information she's dropping, none of it's going to be about Karen, and none of it's going to be about Ashley. So that pretty much limits who she's talking about. And that first riddle, I think she's talking about the one that's not on the show anymore, the one whose husband was the coach, Sharice. I think she's talking about Sharice in the first riddle. So Monique's definitely not coming back, child, because she even took a jab at Andy Cohen in it. So she's definitely not coming back.
So
that's why I said she put flames.
Yeah, she threw a jab at Andy Cohen.
Really coming back.
Yeah, she's not coming back. Monique's not coming back at all, ever. Now we might see Monique at events because she is still cool with Ashley and she is still cool with Karen.
Mm-hmm.
When they have like when Karen, if Karen is going to renew her vows this season, Monique is probably going to be there. But I doubt they're going to film her. Like they might show her like they did with Charisse off to the side somewhere.
Well, look, all I'm gonna say is this is Andy's fault. Because had Andy not cut, because apparently Giselle was in the hot seat for hours. It had a whole nervous breakdown. The fact that we didn't see that, and he even limited what she could share from that binder, that's part of the reason why she said she wasn't coming back. She's like, oh, so you gonna see him and me out to really be the villain.
Monique said, right, Monique said that she had not made her final decision until the reunion. Matter of fact, remember, Monique actually signed her contract and said Monique actually had agreed to come back. She had signed her contract. And after the first, not the first episode, but I think it was the second episode. I think it was the second, because you know they did the 3 reunions. I think it was after the second reunion is when she sent the email to Bravo asking them to release her from her contract. And she went live on Instagram. And I heard Chris in the background even saying, Monique, are you sure you want to do this? Monique, why don't you wait? Monique, are you sure you want to do this? And Monique was like, nah, I'm good.
Right quick, when people saying that she's getting sued, it's going to be hard for them to sue her because she's using code names for everybody.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah.
So she's doing it in such a way where they can try to come forward, but she's not necessarily saying names. It's like when Sheree Whitfield did her little book, and she gave everybody a nickname. So I didn't say your name, so it's up in the air, you know.
And let's be clear. I'm pretty certain Monique ran whatever she was doing past her lawyer first.
Well, yeah,
there's no doubt. Monique is not a dummy. Like people may not, you ain't gotta like her, but she ain't no dummy. Anyway, well, let's get ready to get out of here, y'all. The panel starts at what time?
If I'm not mistaken, 7:35 Central, 8:35 Eastern.
All right, so in about an hour,
roughly,
it will take 15 minutes. You guys go on over to Scotty by Nature's channel and catch up on the panel. You will get to hear what y'all has to say, along with Scotty by Nature, Bondi Blue, Alex Rogers, giving you the real tea. Who else is over there? Jay Lee's Corner. Who else?
Jay Lee is part-time now.
Okay.
Because she needs to get back to her stuff, so she says she'll be more part-time. Okay. But we also got Josiah and Dang Nabbit. I think I didn't ran a blank. Dang that. Okay, well, it's a lot of people over there. Dang Nabbit.
It is. Yeah, that's why I can't remember everybody. I ain't even gonna lie. The young lady is the young ladies.
Simply Sakina. No. Oh, Niecy Dixon.
Niecy. Okay, I'm about to say listen, I don't, and it's no disrespect. I just can't remember everybody's name. Yeah, like Star Jones, like what Star Jones did when she came out with her book, child.
Okay.
Thank you, Xavier. Thank you. Yeah. So, but y'all check it out over there. And also, I will be going back and forth, but I will be on the panel over on It's Me D's at 8:00. So I'm about to go warm up some food, eat my dinner. And thank you, little baby. You know, listen, y'all know, I'm trying to get better with the names. I be writing stuff down too. My problem is sometimes I write the names down wrong. I literally have the names written down wrong.
Hit the damn button. Nope. Hit the button. That's it. We done. Y'all be blessed. Have a great day. Hit the button. That's it.
Make sure y'all go over there and get y'all some Avon.
She said she write the names down. Hit the button. Hit it.
Y'all go catch y'all some Avon. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate it.
Goodbye.